talk about Gary O'Neill in Bournemouth.
So, well,
I've got to give you your props because this is basically what you've said. It is.
I was going to do the same thing.
This is
Like, you've been saying it for
it.
years in the group chat. He's brought it to the pod.
The problem is, I've now had to put my money where my mouth is. I've made a bet now. It's going to be peak. So now it's all going to go wrong. But I don't want to see anyone lose their job. Let's be clear. Some people are saying to me, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. But we're talking about a very specific situation here. And one of the few, it's not like us losing our job. These men lose their jobs and they leave with 7-figure settlements. So from a feeding their family point of view, they're going to be good. As a human, it'll still hurt and whatever, but the gas bill will get paid. They're used to eating it. So let's put that to one side. I don't understand the uproar. Everyone's like, oh, we kept them up. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll be real with you. I think the uproar, surprisingly, is not actually even coming from Bournemouth fans. I think
no, it's not.
It's not. Yes,
the Bournemouth fans are actually.
It's everyone outside.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for keeping us. But
we want what Newcastle have it.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of that, please.
Yeah. Because again, everything's about nuance, right? They bought the club December 2022. They paid 120 million for the club. If you're running that business, that's a lot of money. Your investments are riding on that. Yes, he kept you up, but that was his first managerial job. You don't have any evidence that he can repeat that over a longer period of time, and you don't have any evidence that he can progress you either. So I don't understand. I don't understand why everyone finding it so difficult.
So
go on.
So I think people are finding it difficult because, as mentioned on the pod before, people just look at what happens on the pitch, innit? Like, not many people take your stance and look at it as a business model and the whole thing.
The betterment of the club.
They've just seen it as he's come in, he's kept them up after a bad start, and he should automatically be given a chance for next season. When, if you look at it, just because he's kept them up doesn't mean it's right for the business model of the club.
But even forget business model, just from a football point of view, we don't want to be one of those clubs that's always bouncing around the bottom.
Yeah.
We've just spent a lot of money to buy this club. Thanks, you've been fantastic. But I literally have 5 months of your career to judge you on. 5.
Yeah.
You've not shown me enough for me to say this guy's you're the guy to take us to the next step. You just haven't. You've done enough to keep us here. We thank you.
And
here's
you would
a
have
nice
been very
severance pay.
And you'd have been very well rewarded. You'd have got like a bonus for staying up and all that stuff, which I hope you negotiate when you took the job in whenever you took it, right?
Yeah. So thank you for that. But here's what we're going to do. We've identified someone who we feel has the tools to take us to the next step, right? So we're going to let you go. We're going to bring him in. We're going to give him a little, we're going to, work with him, bring in 1 or 2 players or the necessary players and hope for the best, right? Build. Let's not maintain, let's build.
So what about what was thrown at me? Well, that's just a risk as well. That's a risk as well.
Of course it's a risk, but at the same time,
it's less of a risk.
Yeah. And apparently they tried to get him earlier in the season, but he said he's going to ride out his contract. So it's not someone that they've just kind of plucked out the air.
Yeah.
They thought about who they wanted to replace Parker. They approached him. He said, no, I'm going to stay out the season with Raya. And then he left at the end of the season. So it kind of makes sense. The only thing I would say is that why didn't they do it sooner, if that makes sense? Kind of like, if you knew you weren't going to keep him, why kind of like the season finished like a month ago?
Oh,
why?
Well, maybe they're negotiating severance, all that stuff before they could announce it. Like,
and I'm not going to lie, I was thinking his name looked familiar, but he was at Bilbao for all those years.
Yeah, and what was kind of thrown at me was, well, all right, then you do that. Who you going to get? Who you going to bring in? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. What matters is, as the people that are in charge of the club, they're just going to get someone who they think can do that job. They may be right, they may be wrong. But the evidence on which they could measure him against other people was pretty small, right? And a very, very specific situation. We've not seen you go somewhere and do that. And you're not learning with my 120 million on the line. You're not. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, and let's be honest, if you were ever going to get your first job in any other circumstance, it probably wouldn't have been a Prem club.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to do the championship work or whatever.
Yeah.
So actually, take that experience, go and get a really good championship job.
Yeah, he'll have credit in the bank to when the job comes up at the start of next season, which inevitably it will.
Yeah,
he can throw his CV in there and be like, right, well,
exactly. I think
I've kept the Prem team up. Let's see what I can do at this level.
I mean, like you said, if you're the owner, are you gonna trust this guy who's in his first managerial job, who's not really had enough time to learn his style? Because at the end of the day, the biggest point that the owner was talking about was the style.
Yes, I was coming to that.
Yeah.
In which he kept them up, right?
Yep.
That didn't fit with the direction they wanted to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We've given you 5 months experience, and it's a little longer than that because he did the
it was after we beat them.
before
So,
he got the
so he took over temporary in end of August and then got the job like start of October. I think it
right.
was.
So you pretty much. So let's just say
so my bad, not 5 months,
Yeah,
but
let's just
But
say
for
you've
those
got a
owners,
whole season.
yeah.
You've had a whole season of experience, right? We've given you that.
Yeah.
You
and it
just
wasn't all plain
about-
sailing with him as well.
No.
No, and let's be honest. I mean, you flirted. You managed to stay up. You kept us up. All right, cool, go. We're going to bring someone in who has experience.
Yeah.
He's managed in a top flight, in a top European league, and kept and finished mid-table.
Yeah.
Ideally, that's where we want to be next season, mid-table, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't be mad at that.
No,
you can't be mad at that.
Now, the risk is obviously we've seen managers come from Spain, try and do their thing in the Prem, and it really bites them really hard.
But then you've also seen managers come from Spain and do really well.
Exactly. That was my point. So, yeah, I'm now in a bet where if Bournemouth don't get 40 points next season, I've got to fork out. Basically.
But that's a risk that I'm willing to take.
Yeah. Really.
And to be fair, like going into summer signings and stuff, like Gary never had to be like in charge of transfers, etc. So that's another risk on top of just managing a team. Like
Have
the
they
next
got
season.
a director of football kind of approach? Because again, is he able to work with players he's kind of given that have been identified for him? Again, that whole head coach mentality is a slightly different thing. So again, no slight on him. We think he did a good job. We're talking about him as one of the potential managers of the season, but I can definitely see why this change was made, and I can understand what it is they're trying to do. They've already signed. What's his name? Was it Justin Lerma?
No, Justin Kluivert. Justin Kluivert.
What?
No, they signed Lerma. No, he signed
Lerma
it.
went to Palace.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah,
he left
Kluivert.
Bournemouth. They got to Palace.
Justin Kluivert they brought in.
Yeah,
Oh, Bournemouth.
Yeah. Announced over the weekend. wasn't it?
Stanislas has
Why
gone.
don't I think it was
Kluivert's
Fulham?
come in. Lerma's gone to Palace.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. But I understood it straight away. But I was getting a lot of usual football fan rubbish. But two things can be true. Yes, you did a good job for us, but now we need someone to do something different.
Exactly.
And just to throw out more leaving Sheffield Wednesday as well. It's kind of the same.
So it wasn't a mutual consent thing there.
No. So apparently, so this whole Sheffield Wednesday one is a weird one. So they got the record amount of points in that league without getting automatic promotion. And even before they qualified for the playoffs, they were on like a little blip.
Yeah.
And there was talk of him being sacked before the end of the season. They were going to like change manager, but obviously that's a whole kind of semi-final comeback, and then they won the final. Everyone kind of thought it was a given that he's going to stay. But again, the manager was like, the owner was like, it's not the direction that we want to go in. Like, granted, you've got a promoted, etc. But it's the same. And again, more outroar from like outside of the club
Than inside it.
than inside. Obviously, a few of the fans are like supporting him because of what he done in terms of getting them up, which isn't an easy feat. You know what playoffs are like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just similar in it. Like, and I think more owners might move to that model in it. Like, you can do well, but it's not the direction.
There's a lot on the line now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
There's more money in the game. There's more reward that ahead. So obviously the money. And there's obviously bigger risk. You drop down, you lose a lot of money. we're paying a lot of players. We're taking bigger gambles and paying players and going after players to try and reach the next level.
And I've always said many times, it's easier to change. Well, no, sorry. As a leader, it's harder to change when things are going well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it objectively, when you've got to a certain stop and things have been going
plateau.
well, that's the bit to change. Well, they don't even know if it's plateaued yet because they didn't give him the chance. But you're better off changing now than at Christmas when you find out actually,
it's not going well.
This is going downhill. Now, not only has someone got to come in and do all the things a normal new person's got to do, they've got to recover a bad situation they didn't create, right?
Mm.
Which is what all the clubs do. So sooner or later, clubs are going to look at it and be like, well, why do I need to wait to get to that point to make a change? If I've even got any inkling that we could be going in that direction now, just chop now.
I mean, essentially, that's what Brighton did, right?
Yeah.
Well, they were forced to because Chelsea come knocking.
Yeah.
They were on the ascendancy.
No, but they done that with Houghton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Houghton was like, everyone was like, wow, what they done? They brought in Potter and they went up. So yeah,
And they were forced into.
Didn't a Real Madrid manager get sacked the day after he won the league? Like who? A Real Madrid manager got sacked the day after they won the league. I can't remember who it was.
Well, it happened to Capello. He won the league, but he didn't win Champions League, so he got fired.
Yeah,
remember that? And then it was someone else. It wasn't Hiddink. Who was it? Was it Pellegrini?
It might have been.
Yeah, I think it was.
It might have been Pellegrini.
Yeah. So it happens, man. Like
might even have been Rafa. Did Rafa win the league there?
No, he didn't do great there, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like Capello that happened to because I heard it on a quiz the other day. That's the only reason I know. I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like Pellegrini, and it was so bad because I remember it was like February. Everyone was saying it from like Feb.
You knew it was coming.
Like he's gonna lose his job, but he's top. Yeah, but he's gonna lose his job. I remember it being like a running thing. Then he won the league, and everyone was waiting with bated breath. And then like the day after, yeah, hold it. Yeah, here's your bonus.
Peace.
Get out. But if it was Real Madrid, we wouldn't say anything. We'd be like, yeah, it's normal. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. They're the smaller clubs, isn't it? There's a bit of a stigma about them being ruthless. It should be like, oh, we're a family club, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's even more important down there because, as I said before, you get relegated, people lose their jobs. You know, it's crazy. Which one of the relegated clubs? And like 2 or 3 days later, they announced redundancies straight away. Who got relegated this season? Leicester, Southampton, Leeds.
Most clubs do.
Yeah, it filters down, innit? Yeah.
I think one of them two of them, they announced redundancies in like the 3 or 4 days after.
Yeah, most clubs do that. But they would have been preparing for that outcome because they, as a contingency, well, if we go down, we need to, you know.
And again, these are not some of the highest earners at any club, you know, and they're still having to do that. So imagine a Sheffield Wednesday or someone going up and getting really. There's big impact on everyday people.